Hey guys, so Hissabeth Euphoria, and this is the preliminary analysis. So let us start off with the first part, which is rank 1. Insight is strengthened at the start of the round if self have at least a number of Snake's Den. After generating his and consuming Snake's Den, gain several Moxie. So she seems to have passive Moxie. Yeah, technically in her rotation right now, after you set it up, you can out and then do 2 rank 3 hits. You should be able to get the out again, and basically she can just keep going with that rotation. So giving her additional Moxie doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of her rotation cycles, but I think it will make it easier for her to set up. Like, you don't need few rounds to get her rotation rolling. It's easier for you to get all the Moxie and to get the out and 2 rank 3 hits starting. Okay, and our rank 2 Ouroboros, which is her skill 1, gain the following effect. After attacking, inflict 1 debuff in collection of debuff to all enemies. So she has collection of debuff, but exactly what is in the collection of debuff, I do not have that information. Maybe it's the same as Anjo Nalas, or it can be the same as 6. But 6, I kind of have a feeling that it will be the same as Anjo Nalas. Okay, but this one we will know later. Then we have Infinite Recursion, which is her skill 2, gain the following effect, give serial consciousness to all allies for a number of rounds. So this is a new buff. Increase ultimate might when attacking, depending on the number of negative status on the target, further increase ultimate might. Alright, so this really helps out those characters that take advantage of negative status such as Noir, Anjonala, and 6, because their ultimate do more damage with more negative status. And now Hissabeth give them even more ultimate might based on negative status as well. And Insight is also strengthened when Hissabeth attack enemies with Serpentine skill. After inflicting rigidity, gain extra Moxie. Also inflict multiple debuff in collection of debuff. So to me, I think you will not really use her skill 1, because once you got the rotation starting, you will be casting Hiss, right? At least 2 rank 3 Hiss every round, and that counts as attacking the enemy, which has Serpentine skill. So his will also inflict those negative status. I think include her ultimate, the AoE ultimate as well. And here again, she's getting Moxie. So she have enough Moxie. I'm not sure why they are giving her so many Moxie. There is no place in the description that actually mention how she consumed those Moxie. As far as I know, she will just do the AoE out and she can do it every round. So yeah, I'm not really sure why giving her all this extra Moxie. What is the purpose? Maybe some other characters later on has something to do. The more Moxie you generate, the more damage you do. Maybe something like that. I do not know, but at the moment, it is not mentioned anywhere. Yeah. And yes, so she seems to be more of a negative status team right now. Rank 3, Hiss, deal extra mental damage. When Hiss is in rank 1, 2, or 3, it is also affected by different percentage of ultimate might. So this is additional ultimate might, more than those that from the consciousness buff. Okay, so this is gonna make her more of a sub DPS. I do think so. She's gonna hit quite hard. So yeah, she's not a full support unit. She is definitely more of a sub DPS. Rank 4. Depending on the number of negative status on the target, deal extra mental damage to a maximum. Once the maximum is surpassed, increase penetration rate for this attack, and attack is affected by more ultimate might. So given this condition, which means it will be quite definite, she will be able to inflict all the negative status on the enemy, okay, which is why it's really going to be beneficial for Anjonala and Noir. And the penetration rate is also very good. Make her a little bit more flexible because of this. she still should be able to do some quite significant damage, not to say like really high damage, but at least it's significant. In other teams, that is not plan, right? As in plan, usually you will be fighting against star enemies, but which means if let's say you are using Anjo Nala and the enemy will take bonus afflictors for beast, but at least Hissabeth is doing penetration, so her damage will still matter, kind of like that. So yeah. But again, right now the enemy doesn't really have afflictors. They can be weak against plant, also beasts, right? So I guess that still end up mainly depending on stage mechanics and stage design. Alright, so for her expected rotation, seems like it's the same as before. It's just easier to set up as she gets more Moxie. But AP consumption seems to increase because we need to be using her S2 once in a while to apply the consciousness buff to the entire party. So that kind of made her a little bit more AP hungry than what she was before. But I do believe in whatever team that she's intended to be in, it should be fine. Okay, the rotation should be fine. Don't have to worry too much about that. For her teammate, I'm really thinking that Noir will be getting Euphoria in the next patch. This feels like deja vu in the sense, because previously when we have the collaboration patch, we get the assassin character and then we get a plant team that is not based on any new unit but based only on Euphoria unit, and that is Marcus team, the rank up team, right? There isn't a new unit for that. It was Marcus Euphoria, Juvis Euphoria, Vilas Euphoria, and then Argus Euphoria. So it feels the same now that we are getting Hissabeth Euphoria, and then we will get Noir Euphoria, and Noir will be the DPS, and here we can still use back Vilas Euphoria. And one more, you can use Anjo Nala as well, because Anjo Nala linked to Noir, and Noir doing multiple ultimate, right? And those multiple ultimate that you do is counted as follow-up attack, so that will actually fuel Anjo Nala to increase the harmonic stats. And then if you are going with Plant Anjo Nala, it is definitely out-based team, and Hissabeth just provides so much ultimate might, so this team will do so much more damage. And with all the negative status, they will do even more damage. And depending on the number of negative status that this team can inflict, you may not even need 6. Right? Because 6 mostly in his collection of debuff is a lot of stats down. So stats down is not the same as negative status, so that's something that we have to be aware of. What we want is negative status like burn, poison, and a bunch more like gash. What else? There's a lot of different type of negative status, but they are not stats down. And apart from that theme, here as well, I think Hissabeth generally can work in out team as long as you give her that 1 or 2 AP once in a while. And the current out team we have is Igor as well as Recoleta. So maybe Igor, it won't work very well because in the end it will still be Lopera and Moldir. And I believe Lopera and Moldir should be getting Euphoria soon, like maybe in 2 or 3 patches, somewhere, something like that. So yeah, I think that will still be his team, no doubt. So Hissabeth can be a substitute if you don't have one of them. As for Recoleta, I think it will be quite good with Recoleta. All the additional hits will give Recoleta Moxies, and also the AoE ultimate will also give Recoleta which stacks, mono mythic or the narrative, I'm not sure which one, but will give her that stacks. And now Hissabeth easily gain back that Moxie, so it's quite consistent that every round you can feel Recoleta with that. And Recoleta's precast preparation Recoleta can use to trigger Hissabeth out as well. Okay, but again, she have to compete with the current BIS for Recoleta, and that is the Dynamo team. Okay, so if you remove like Charon, then you put a Hissabeth, and then you still have Enigma, would that be the best configuration? I'm not sure, so this is something that definitely we have to test out. Because half of Hissabeth kit, which is the negative status, Recoleta doesn't really need that. Okay, so maybe you won't really end up using her in Recoleta for, if you want to optimize Recoleta's team and damage output, she may not be the best, but I think she will definitely work with Recoleta. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.